Настя?
Привет. Яночка, привет. Ну что, как дела?
Нормально.
Как ваш English?
Нормально.
Very well. Если нормально, давай, моя хорошая, в путь. Мы с тобой остановились на страничке 62.
Мгм.
62-я страничка. Давай ты нам ее откроешь, да? Вот,
Да, сейчас открываю.
хорошо, в путь. Что мы сегодня делаем интересненького? Мы заканчиваем юнит 6, и мы переходим на тренировку в workbook. Попробуем максимально сделать много сегодня, потому что юнит был весьма легкий, я так себе думаю. Есть у тебя?
Включена демонстрация.
Да,
Опять.
опять. В общем, каждый раз
Мгм.
знать мне получается так, что-то оно автоматически не хочет, да? Так, хорошо. 6.4 я вижу, у нас вот будет послушать надо будет, да? Послушать.
Мгм.
А что именно послушать, кто знает? Я не знаю. Давайте узнавать, мой хороший. Task. Decide how much compensation people should get. Так, я включаю здесь, а вы идите, мои хорошие, на страничку 100 с копейками. Сейчас я вам скажу. 6.4. Так, так. А нет ничего, друзья мои. У меня нету тут записи. Это 6.3, друзья мои. 6.4. The stories opposite describe four cases. Я так подозреваю, что они начитают нам эти истории. Сейчас посмотрим. Класс CDs. Диск 2. 6.4. А вот он. Все, я включаю. Тексты.
Мгм.
Это не то.
А какая там страница еще раз?
62. 62. Текст.
Ой,
Нет. Не 162, а просто 62 и даже 63, да, видишь, task 6.4, да, и он начитает все эти тексты. Я вижу, тут будут пробелы, и нам необходимо будет complete the gaps, заполнить пробелы. Я буду каждый
Мгм.
раз останавливать, и мы будем с тобой смотреть. В этом тексте 5 гэпов. Мы готовы? Можно взять блокнотик или как удобно, или в PDF-ке писать, черкнуть. Я включаю.
Мгм.
Поехали.
Recording 4. A, an American actor, once the star of a major US cop show, moved to London and started a career in the theatre as a writer and director when his TV career began to fade. When one of his plays appeared at a theatre, a reviewer in a newspaper claimed that it was, without doubt, the worst thing he had ever seen on the London stage. The show closed soon afterwards, and A decided to sue the newspaper. It emerged in court that the reviewer had not actually been present at the performance, but had relied on information supplied by another journalist. He had also claimed that the performance had been poorly attended, when in fact it had been more than half full. The reviewer's lawyer said his client apologized for the inaccuracies in the article. The judge awarded A damages.
Thank you. Я здесь останавливаю. Угу.
Мгм.
Окей. Что там?
Первый пропуск я не разобралась, честно, что он там сказал.
Честно, что он там сказал?
The star of a major US cop show moved. Module 6. Recording 4.
US Cop Show.
A,
Мгм.
an American actor, once the star of a major US cop show, moved.
Вот. Хорошо. Что у нас во втором?
Так, во втором closed, по-моему.
3.
Another journalist.
We're good. 4.
Тут я пока another journalist писала, я, честно, не услышала.
Another journalist.
It emerged in court that the reviewer had not actually been present at the performance, but had relied on information supplied by another journalist. He had also claimed that the performance had been poorly attended, when in fact it had been more than half full.
More than half full.
Yes, very good. More than half. Хорошо. И последнее.
Lawyer said his client apologized for the inaccuracies in the article. The judge awarded A damages.
All right. Что у нас получилось?
Не разобрала, что в пятом.
Неточности как будут? Неточности. Inaccuracies. Inaccuracies. Thank you. Яночка, the gist. Gist — это короткий выклад. О чем? Или тебе нужно перевести какие-то выражения?
Да нет, в принципе.
Не надо?
About... Так, получается, this text, yes?
Yes.
This text is about history about American actor who moved to London and he started his career in the theater as a writer. And here we can see his like part of his history.
Yeah.
And that it was claimed that it was the worst thing. Some reviewer claimed that it was the worst scene that he had ever seen on the London stage. And it was like a conflict. So it was like something in the court, and at the result, after all this like judgment, the judge awarded damages.
What right. Понимаем, что такое what damages?
Awarded damages?
Ну,
Ну, получается, как назначил выплаты какие-то.
Да, возмещение ущерба. Да? Есть успех. Поехали дальше. B. Готовы?
Да.
B, a man from California, was diagnosed with terminal lung cancer in his 50s. He had started smoking when he was 13 and had smoked 2 packets of the same brand of cigarettes a day for most of his adult life. He said that he had tried to stop several times, but resumed after those attempts failed. He claimed that he had been tricked into smoking by the tobacco industry, which he said had made him think that cigarettes were cool, without making him sufficiently aware of the danger to his health. He sued the tobacco company in question and was eventually awarded a sum of money by the court.
C, a rail worker.
Very well. Попробуем. Как успехи?
Так. Ну,
Да.
в первом 50s. Так, дальше he started smoking when he was 13 and had smoked 2 packets of the same brand of cigarettes a day. Так, потом в третьем several times. Так, his cigarettes were cruel without making him... Тут я не расслышала.
Aware.
Aware of the danger to his health.
Thank you. Please, gist, guys.
It is a story about a man who was from California and he was diagnosed with terminal lung cancer, and it was because of him smoking when he was younger, and he smoked a lot. He could smoke 2 packets of the same brand of cigarettes a day. So because of that, he claimed that he had been tricked into smoking, and this made him think that cigarettes are cruel, and he sued to this company. So after that, he was awarded a sum of money by the court.
Thank you. Again, a word, yeah? So he sued что-то, без to. All right, guys, идем дальше. Это подавати позов, да, кудись, без to. Третий текст.
Employed as a ticket collector, had to sit in a ticket booth checking passengers' tickets as they left the platform. However, C, who weighed 110 kilograms and was 1 meter 82 centimeters tall, claimed that the ticket booth was too small for him to work in comfortably. When he went off sick, suffering from severe back pain, he was sacked. C said the rail company had treated him unfairly because his working conditions were to blame for his poor health, and he sued his employers for unfair dismissal. C eventually won his case and was awarded a sum of money in compensation.
Thank you. Что вставили? Первое.
Я не успевала записать сейчас. Пару секунд.
Кем он был?
Так,
A ticket
ну,
collector.
получается, тут the ticket collector had to sit in a ticket booth checking passengers' tickets as they left the platform. However, who waited 100
110 kilos.
kilos and was 1 meter 82 centimeters tall, claimed the ticket booth was too small for him working comfortably. When he went off sick, suffering from severe... Тут не услышала.
Severe back pain. Боль в спине.
Back pain, he was sacked. She said the rail company had treated him unfairly because his working conditions were to blame his poor health, and he sued his employers for unfair... Так, в пятом получается unfair.
Unfair dismissal. Да? Unfair dismissal. All right, thank you. И последнее.
D, a 26-year-old woman, was working as a dancer when she met an elderly Texas oil tycoon. The man showered the young dancer with gifts and money, and 3 years later, the couple got married. They were married for only 18 months before he died, aged 89, leaving an estate worth an estimated $2 billion. Dee did not have a prenuptial agreement with her late husband, and there was no mention of her in his will. However, she claimed that he had always said he would take care of her and had promised to leave her half his fortune. This claim was contested by the man's son, who said he was the sole beneficiary of his father's will. He said that Dee had exploited his late father and should receive nothing.
Все. Что получается?
В первом working as a dancer, дальше were married for only 18 months before died aged 89, leaving the estate was an estimated $2 billion. Dee did not have a prenuptial agreement with her late husband, and there was no mention of her in his will. However, she claimed that he had always said he would take care of her and had promised to leave her half of his fortune. This claim was contested by the man's son, who said that he was sole beneficiary of his father's will. He said that Dee had exploited his late father and should receive nothing.
All right, thank you. Вот такая ситуация. Яночка, gist, please.
Так, this is story about 26-year-old.
Okay.
Еще раз?
Is about, да?
Да.
Да.
A woman, 26-year-old woman, she was working as a dancer and met her husband, who was also a young dancer, with gifts and money, and after 3 years they got married, but when they were married for only 18 months, her husband died, and he left her estate worth an estimated $2 billion, So, but it was a problem that in their prenuptial agreement, it wasn't her name in there. So it was only that he was going to leave her half of his fortune, and this claim was contested by the man's son. So as I understood, father said that D should receive nothing after that.
Yeah, it's true. Thank you. Возвращаемся, пожалуйста, на 62. По-моему, мы прочитали useful language в прошлый раз и phrase builder сделали.
Phrase builder, да.
Да, мы его сделали вроде бы весь. Теперь мы заходим в таски work individually or in pairs. For each of the cases, decide how much each person should receive. You can choose any amount between $100 and $3 billion. Окей. Ну, это такое субъективное. Тут я вижу personal vocabulary, useful language A and B, useful language C. Больше меня интересует 6.5. Это страничка 100, 90, ничего подобного, 168. Find out how much money the people in question really received. Там по ходу развития событий. Поэтому 6.5 давайте послушаем. Есть тут? Да, это оно. Кому что дали, друзья?
Module 6, Recording 5. A was awarded £20,000 or $30,000 damages following the review of his play. He said later, "I stand really strong on the side of fair comment and opinion about the theatre. If you're going to use something like that, get your facts right."
B was awarded a total of $3 billion by the Californian court, the largest sum ever awarded in a case of this kind. Members of the jury explained that it had been their intention to hurt the tobacco industry.
C received just £1,500, $2,250, about a month's salary as compensation for losing his job.
D was initially awarded $450 million, the amount by which the value of her late husband's companies had increased during their marriage. However, this was later reduced to $88 million when her husband's son appealed against the decision.
Thank you, such stuff. What do you think, Яночка? Was it fair?
I think that yes, it was quite fair.
In all the 4 cases, во всех 4 случаях.
I think yes, but the third case is quite strange, so I don't know who is right in that situation. I don't think that the worker was really right and that the company was right. So I think that it's quite спорно.
Спорно, arguable, right? Okay.
Yeah.
We will see. Thank you. Let's go further. Writing about statistics. Мы теперь погружаемся в письмо. Roughly, how much do you spend per month on these things? Who spends the most list in the group? Давайте посмотрим, что тут происходит. Сколько кто тратит чего. Поехали, друзья.
Так, получается, первое это cinema, theater and concert tickets.
Yeah, who spends the most list in the group? How much do you spend per month on these things? Мгм.
Так, отвечать правильно?
Да.
I don't know how much money I spent on cinema, theater, and concert tickets, but because I don't go to the cinema every month, because sometimes I don't see something interesting for me, in there. So I think that maybe it can be 2 times in a month, and maybe it will be like 500 hryvnias,
A month,
because
right?
because also I buy something to eat, so it also costs some money.
Okay,
Так,
very
football
well.
pools.
Football pools.
0, I think.
What is it? Football pools.
Не знаю, может, у меня был.
Давайте посмотрим
Так,
точнее. Вот выберем в контекст реверсу. Я сейчас роюсь.
сейчас.
Английско-русский. Футбол пул. Пишется через 2 О. Вот они, футбол пулс. Футбольный тотализатор, друзья мои. Футбольный тотализатор – это когда мы ставим на какую-то команду в надежде выиграть денежки, потому что выиграет команда, на которую мы поставили.
0, because I'm not so interested in football, I think.
Very well, thank you.
Lottery tickets also 0, because I don't really buy them,
Okay, thank you.
and I'm not very interested. Tickets for spectator sports.
Зрелищные виды спорта. Футбол, скачки.
Mhm. I think that maybe it can be 0, because I only can go to the training of my brother, and it's for free, so but I don't go anywhere.
All right. To watch such stuff. Thank you.
Yeah.
It's a bar charts. Bar – это вот эти столбики. Bar charts showing a chart – это табличка. Showing family spending on these items in the UK. Okay. Where did the amount of money spent increase slightly, more than double, fall steadily, drop sharply, rise significantly, and change very little? Вот эти таблички мы делаем в райтинге, когда первое задание в IELTS Academic. IELTS Academic. Вот это мы делаем. Нам необходимо вот этих 6 точечек разобрать. Increase slightly. Это повышаться слегка. More than double. Более чем в 2 раза. Увеличиваться или уменьшаться. Fall steadily. Падать стабильно. Drop sharply. Drop упасть резко. Rise significantly. Подниматься значительно. И change very little. Очень мало поменяться. Какие мы тут видим ситуации? Давайте разберемся с increase slightly. У нас есть года вот голубенькие и темно-синие. По сравнению с этим, допустим, figure 1. Первый рисунок. Figure – это рисунок в данном случае. И есть еще figure 2. Давайте. Figure 1. Theaters, concerts. Что они делают?
Так.
Increase
Slightly.
slightly. То есть из пункта 2 они подросли до 4 и там половинки, наверное, да? Окей. More than double. Увеличили.
Cinema and admissions.
Окей. Ну, получается, что так. Theaters и concerts. Окей. Я поменяю их местами. Идем дальше. Spectator sports. Что у нас тут будет?
Так, ну, rise significantly.
Thank you.
Или, так, ну да.
Да.
Lotteries.
Figure 1 мы сделали. Figure 2.
Первый там fall steadily
Да.
и drop sharply.
Поняли разницу?
Ну, получается, fall steadily это более так плавно, а тут
Да.
Прям в следующем оно прям в половину
Yes,
сразу
very good.
падает.
Теперь надо исправить фактические ошибки в резюме внизу. Сколько тут фактических ошибок может быть? Количество не указано. Окей, давайте прочитаем текст. Возможно, по ходу или после сделаем, да?
Мгм. Так, figures 1 and 2 show how much was spent on entertainment, lotteries, and football pools in a 4-year period between 1996 and 2001.
Мгм, вот первая ошибка, друзья мои. Не 4-year period. 2001 минус 96. 1996. Не 4
Мгм.
года, а 5 лет.
Ну да.
A 5-year period. Есть?
Так, дальше. Overall, there was been a decrease in expenditure on entertainment, whereas spending on lotteries and football pools has increased.
Мгм.
Overall has been decreased in entertainment, spending on lotteries and football has increased.
Он не decrease,
Наоборот.
increase. Да, есть такое.
The biggest increase was in cinema admissions, which more than tripled from £2 to £4.25. Так, cinema. Ну да, тут все правильно.
Он
вроде.
не trebled, он не утроился, он doubled, удвоился.
А, ну да.
Treble, утраиваться, да? М.
In contrast, the amount spent on theater and concert tickets only increased slightly.
Еще знаете что? By almost 3/4 to £6 a month. Что это получается? A third. Это треть. Тут должна быть написано треть. 3/4 это 3/4. А у нас 6.
Мгм.
То есть треть to a third. 3/4 мы зачеркиваем. By almost. И пишем тут сверху 8. A third. Треть. Мгм.
Так. By far the largest expenditure in the period was on lottery, as illustrated in figure 2.
Угу, тут ничего нет. В следующем там будет.
Так, however, spending on this item fell dramatically from £11 in 1996 to 1997 to £10 in 1999, 2000, and £9 in 2000, 2001.
Года неправильно написаны здесь. Надо года поменять.
Мгм.
Потому что figure 2 это с 96 по 97 и с 99 по 2000.
Мгм.
Да.
Much less was spent on football pools, and the amount dropped sharply by about 2/3 between 1999, 2000, and 2000 to 2000. First,
Опять
much less,
года.
да. Так, spending on this item changed very little from 1996 to 1997 to 1999 to 2000, falling from £80 to 60 per month, respectively.
Мгм. А нам что необходимо поменять года? Вот 96-й, 97-й надо поменять на года в первой фигуре 99-й, 2000-й и 2000-й 2001, right? Третье. Что не хватает? Слова, выделенные жирным с упражнения B, надо вставить в тройку. Пробуем. Да, это
Да.
здесь.
Contrary to ministers' claims, the report says that money will be available for public transport next year. Much less.
Класс есть.
The number of people taking their cars to work has soared in recent years. In contrast,
Правильно. In contrast есть.
the average price of a house or a flat has increased by 20% and 15%. Respectively.
Угу. Да.
Overall,
В общем,
people are spending more on videos and DVDs and less on going to the cinema. By far the most popular toy last Christmas was the Robot doll.
yeah, that's all. Теперь мы, хорошо, поднимаемся выше, и у нас есть задание посмотреть на табличку, которая находится на страничке 65 под названием Table 1. Look at the table 1 on page 65, which compares the spending patterns of boys and girls aged 7-15. Which of the figures do you find surprising? Яночка, which of the figures do you find surprising? И how would you account for the differences between the boys and girls spending patterns? Как бы ты объяснила, почему мальчики столько вот вытрачают, а девочки вот столько тратят, да.
Так, foods and soft drinks 37, 36, 36. Leisure goods 29, 17. Clothing and footwear 8, 16. Leisure services 18, 11, 8. Household goods and services 5, 8. Transport and fares 7, 4. Other goods and services 410. All expenditure. Так, ну, I think that it is it depends on the interests because we can take stereotype that girls like buying clothing and footwear more than boys.
You mean stereotype? Stereotype.
Yeah. And because of that, I think that it is such difference between percentages. But also it depends on their needs, their interests, and their priorities.
Yeah, thank you. Вот, все, закончилось. Read the summary and look at the underlined phrases describing amounts. Подчеркнутые слова, почему они грамматически... Возвращаемся на 64-ю. Да, вот это вот столбик different age groups. Почему, что неправильно? Что неправильно в подчеркнутых словах?
Так, different age groups in society spend their money in different ways. As young people gain access to money, they are able to make choices about the way they spend it. In 2020, more than third of треть тут имеется в виду, получается, да?
Да, a third, получается, a third.
A third the expenditure of children aged 7 to 15 was in food and soft drinks and similar proportion.
Существительное в прилагательном единственном числе. A similar.
A similar
Все.
was spent on leisure goods and leisure services. Only 7% of
Она правильная, Ян. Они есть и правильные, и неправильные. Надо вызначить, какие
only
неправильные.
7% of the expenditure was household
Мгм. Смотри, там
goods.
стоит expenditure. Expenditure on household.
On household goods.
М.
And services reflecting the fact that the majority young people under the age
Oh,
of
Majority
16 live in the family home.
Yeah. Majority of. Majority
The majority of young people under the age of 16 live in the family home. Transport and fare costs counted for only 6% children's expenditure.
6% of, да? Чего там?
Of.
Тогда
As their faces tend to be paid for by their parents and public transport fares for young people are subsidized by their government. There are differences in the spending patterns of boys and girls. Girls spend twice as much then. Ну, получается, вдвое больше.
twice as much as не than, а as.
Twice as much as boys on clothing and footwear, and almost half the amount that boys spend on fares.
Угу.
And most
Convert.
half of
Что это такое? Он правильный, Яночка, он правильный.
the
Мгм.
half the amount that boys spend on fares. Conversely, boys spend 1.5 times more than girls on leisure goods and services.
Не one. Once and a half times. Это выражение в полтора. Once and a half times. Логике не поддается, да? A half times. Множественное число. Хорошо. 5a. Посмотрите на табличку 2 и сравните траты студентов в последующих годах. Что думаете по этому поводу? Два вопроса. How is student expenditure different to that of the other young people? Студентов сравнивал с остальными нормальными людьми. И how could you account for the changes? Видишь фраза account for, объяснить. The changes in their spending patterns over the period. Изменения в их тратах за какой-то там период. Пробуем.
Так, сейчас. I think that these changes is connected to the growth of prices, also changing of interests and needs, and also maybe changing of the priorities, and having different salaries and different amounts of money on something.
Thank you. Тут нам предлагают написать что-то, но мы лучше почитаем. Real life expressing quantities imprecisely. Не точно. Давайте переведем. Какие из фраз, из бокса, вот зелененькая рамочка, да, могут быть заменены фразами, выделенными, да что такое? Выделенными жирными в предложениях внизу. Давайте посмотрим на бокс. Какие слова мы не знаем?
Так, сейчас.
Смотрим.
Дальше я вот забыла, если честно.
Вообще-то dash это всплеск, чистое значение, или полосочка, или примечание какое-то, чиркнуть. Это малое количество. Чуть-чуть.
Так, ну, the company spent only 2% of its annual budget on research and development.
A small percentage подойдет? Окей. Забрали.
Galvin was arrested when police dogs discovered 10 grams of an illegal drug hidden in his luggage. Discovered a pinch.
A pinch. Ну, не знаю. Давайте
Или
скажем a small quantity.
a small quantity of an illegal drug hidden in his luggage. 14 million people in this country still do not have access to the internet. What's number of people?
Да, есть.
I like a black coffee with just
А вот
milk.
это он всплеск. Оп,
A
чуть-чуть.
dash.
Dash.
I can't believe anyone can be so greedy. He ate 2 kilograms of potatoes and still had dessert. He ate dozens of.
An enormous portion. То есть 2 килограмма картошки, представляешь, на одного человека. И он это все
An
съел.
enormous portion of potatoes and still had dessert. 95% of people in this country are in favor of reforming the tax system to make it fairer. 95%.
Подавляющее большинство. И это будет the
overwhelming majority of.
majority. Есть.
The only reason they could afford such an enormous house was because they won $5 million in the state lottery. A huge sum of money.
Yeah.
Just add 0.001 grams of salt to help bring the flavors of the dish.
1/10 sounds получается, да, 1/10,000. Это щепотка.
Pinch.
Да.
The council has spent 2 years looking into ways of having money. Has spent a great deal of time looking into ways of saving money.
Да.
We have 72 inquiries about our latest offer.
Dozens
inquiries about our latest offer. It was disappointing that only 5 or 6 people actually took the trouble to attend the meeting. Так. A handful of или что?
Handful. У нас осталось только a handful и a while. Поэтому
Да.
5 or 6 будет a handful, пригоршня. А a while немножечко, да.
Even besides such a long run, you should sit down and rest for a while.
Есть успех, спасибо. Теперь, мои хорошие, на ваше усмотрение упражнение 2, мы заканчиваем юнит 6. Вставьте то, что вы хотите с упражнения 1. На ваше усмотрение. В путь.
No. Use your own ideas and the phrases in exercise 1 to make true sentences. Compare in pairs. Так. The vast number of people in my country speak English.
Yeah.
Learning to speak a foreign language fluently requires что оно requires?
A huge sum of money.
A huge sum of money. It's possible to win
Или a great deal of time. А huge sum of money мы здесь возьмем в упражнении C.
A great deal of time, а здесь тогда будет a huge sum of money by так, small question.
А тут ничего не
Так.
подойдет нам.
Ну да.
Что-то можем придумать сами.
Money by,
Winning a lottery, что-то такое.
да. There тоже получилось, ну, правда, оно уже было.
Dozens of, можно сказать. Нам надо, чтобы было множество.
да.
числа.
Dozens of women politicians in my country.
М,
To become president, you need a great deal of time.
окей.
Или
A huge sum
тут
of
даже
money
если- ну да.
like this. Okay.
The government wastes a huge sum of money
On
by
what? On. И тут
on
какая фантазия у вас есть, используйте.
everything.
On everything. Very nice, guys. Okay.
Road accidents are caused by the... Так.
Наверное,
Confused.
the overwhelming majority of road accidents are caused by... Или там подставьте что-то. Unattentive
Nature.
passengers or drivers or whatever. Yeah.
Mhm. Some people like to add a pinch of как его? Ну, корица to their coffee.
М.
People of my age have no interest in pop music. The overwhelming majority of people of my age have no interest in pop music.
Is it true?
No.
All right, guys, thank you. So you surprised me a bit with the sentence. Okay, ну что же, давайте сделаем модуль 7, аж, не знаю когда, потому что у нас следующий workbook, рабочая тетрадочка. Phrase builder мы сделали. Я вас жду, мои хорошие, до встречи.
Хорошо. Всего, до свидания.